Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jackie Musimeki Guru, aka JMK, and welcome to Real Talk. Oh my God, I've tried to find a quiet place in this house. With a baby, it is crazy. So if some noises come up, please just forgive me. But basically, today I want to talk about love. I've talked about love before, but today I want to talk about the real issue of love. You know, most of the time, this being real talk, sometimes I just like scrap a bit and just talk about the way it should be in 1 Corinthians 13. Yes, that's how it should be. I mean, basically, it's a principle. That's how it should be. And the greatest commandment that the Lord gave us is love your neighbor as you love yourself, and love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your might. That one is standard. But there are those things that we tend to ignore. There are those things that we tend to take for granted. And because of the way we perceive how people look at us, or the way we perceive how people will think about us, we tend to hold back a bit on the things that we're supposed to do. So it becomes a problem. Okay? So today I want to talk about love, like real love, like Jackie love, the way Jackie actually, for me, the way I go out of myself when I love somebody, whether it is my boyfriend, whether it is my girlfriend, whether it is anybody that I have decided to put in my heart to love and to put in my inner circle. These are the certain things that we need to focus on and look at. Now, one of the things is friendship. One of the things that I've realized in life is that we tend to fall in love with people, but we do not make them their friends, our friends. So because we don't make them our friends, we find that there are certain things that we cannot do, we cannot say, we're not free with, because people are not our friends. It's just a love relationship. And when it's just a love relationship, then it becomes a problem because it's not real. It's basically plastic. And because of that, you don't really enjoy the love. Yesterday, some of you must have seen my status and you must have said, oh my God, Jack is really crazy. Yeah, sometimes I get crazy, okay? Because one thing that I have, and one thing that I've told most of my friends, is that when I fall in love, whether it works out or it doesn't work out, I have put in whatever I need to put in into that relationship. I have enjoyed myself in that relationship. And even if it doesn't work out, yes, there are regrets, but deep down inside my heart, I know that I have done my part when it comes to loving that person. So yesterday was one of those days when me and him were just in those moments, okay? And I just wanted to show the world that, you can actually love. You can love. I mean, why is it that when the Africans do these things, everybody's like, huh? And yet if it was a white person to do that, everybody would be like, it's normal. So that is how we're supposed to love. We're supposed to be friends with people. We're supposed to laugh with our loved ones. We're supposed to enjoy our people. We're supposed to just enjoy the gift that you have gotten at that point in time. Then another thing that we have to do is respect. Amidst everything, most of us think that because somebody has allowed to love us, then I'm not going to respect them. I'm going to talk to them in a certain way, or I'm going to, let me give you an example. These days, so many women earn more than the guys. These days, we have this whole thing of women going out with younger guys. Okay, like for me, I like young blood. Hey, this is real talk. Hey, this is real talk. Me, I like young blood. I don't think I can handle like old guys. Me with my energy, with my enthusiasm, with the way I love. Getting somebody who is above my age would just be boring for me. So I love the young blood. So sometimes because we tend to date people who are younger than us, then you find that disrespect sometimes comes into play, because you think that you know more than this person, and yet dependent on how they have been brought up, you can find that this person is actually more mature and can advise you in different ways. And then also women who earn more than their men, they tend to disrespect them, feel like they're nothing and things like that. But I think it's important for us to just learn that the fact that you're in a relationship with somebody, you love somebody, you need to respect one another. Then another thing that we need to look at is freedom. One thing that I have learned in life is that when you're in a relationship, people tend to not to be free with one another. There are certain things that they can't do because they fear that they may offend the other person, and that's when friendship comes back into play. Okay, because if you're with somebody and you love him and you're able to do certain things with this person, then you should be able to be free to say whatever you have to say. If you have something on your mind, you should be able to say it. If you need to pass air, you should be able to pass air in front of this person. I mean, you should be able to do a lot of things. But then you tend to find that there's certain people that you date, and even just the small things that you see that you've been used to, you cannot do because this person feels offended, or this person has been brought up in a certain way, and you're not free to do certain things, and you end up not being yourself. Sorry, I continue doing this because I didn't carry my glasses. But basically, another thing that we need to look at is trust. The phones. The phones have brought issues. And we tend to always think that if our man is on the phone, or the men think that if a woman is on the phone, then they're doing something funny or they're texting. And another thing that also I think we need to do is be very open. Openness is a very, very important thing. We as women, guys will flirt with us, guys will hit on us, guys will tell us stuff, they'll look at you on the streets, they'll see you look nice, they'll send a message. Some of these guys are quite persistent. Even if you tell them that you have somebody that you're dating, guys are guys. You understand? And even as women, I think we've also reached that point where we tend to enjoy the flirting and the attention from the men, and we reciprocate. Okay, but I think it's important that we reach that point in our relationships where we're open with our partners and we're able to tell them that, you know what, can you imagine this guy was hitting on me? I mean, really, I told him I'm dating somebody, but what's wrong with guys? I mean, you should be able to be open with one another, that you have these discussions between you so that you're able to be free and not have this whole mistrust within yourselves. Because if that same person calls you when you're with your partner, then it's easy for you to say, now this is the guy I was telling you about, and let's just ignore him. Then another thing that we need to do is support one another. We have this notion these days that, the man does everything, the woman is supposed to just sit back and enjoy. Hey, those days ended. So we both work, we both get out, we both do what we have to do. So we both have to support one another. So it's not only supporting one another monetary wise, we also have to support one another with our ideas. If you see that your husband or your boyfriend or whatever, your partner or your friend is doing something that you could change a little, or you could give advice a little, why not? Give advice, support one another. If you feel like you have some money on you that will help both of you to grow, then there is no reason why you cannot put in that money, and then you know that it's going to come out for both of you. Okay, but again, we have to be careful, because these days men have become what we call target workers. They come out and they want to be with a woman because she has the money and blah blah blah. So sometimes we have to go to God and have a discerning spirit and understand exactly where these men are coming from. Then we need to be caring. We need to be very caring. We need to, if your man has come back from work, we all know we all work, but hey, show some care. Ask how your day has been. First of all, for me, I love texting. I love communication. So even by the time you've come back in the evening, I have known how your day has been because I have texted you the whole day. You have told me what's up. You have, So caring is shown in different ways. Send a text in the morning when you depart from each other. Send a message and say, have you reached safely? Are you okay? How is the day? How is business going? How is work going? You lose nothing. Understand? You lose nothing. So this business of saying that, I leave you in the morning and then I see you in the evening. And then when we come in the evening, we don't even have a conversation. Hey. Girlfriends and boyfriends, you'll be in for trouble. Then can you imagine that I cannot see? But this is real talk, so let me just get my book. We need to be, oh my god, what am I doing? Okay, then there's this part where we tend to, at the beginning of a relationship, you tend to open up to somebody and tell them about your deep secrets or what happened in your past or things that happened, why you separated with your previous ones and things like that. We need to learn that we shouldn't use that against our spouses or against our partners, especially in arguments. We have this habit of bringing up a very painful scenario that happened and say, oh no, it's because of, no wonder you went through ABCD. No, we shouldn't do that. I mean, it's really painful because by the time somebody comes and tells you about something, then they've told you because they trust you. Okay, so we need to learn that if they trust you, then you shouldn't ever bring it up as a point of hurting that person because of an argument. And then the last point that I have is when you're in a relationship, it's between the two of you. It's between the two of you. Especially the bad side. Okay, we have a habit, especially women, we have a habit of when a guy has annoyed you, you go to your girlfriend, you're like, imagine this guy did this, he did that, he's such a fool, he's hopeless, he's what. I think the first thing that we need to do, and I talked about it earlier, is being able to be open with one another and being able to talk to one another about things that hurt us or things that don't make us happy. One thing we need to understand, and it is the way of life, is that when you're in a happy relationship, not all your friends are happy for you. Okay? So when they're not happy for you, then we need to try our level best not to over open up about our relationships to people unless you're entirely trusting. And this trust takes a long time to build. So before you even open up about your problems with your man, first talk about these things with your man and try and see how you can solve them out. Open discussion and open communication always sorts out a lot of things. Let me tell you. One thing that I have that I realized that failed in my past relationships is open communication. Something would happen, I try to talk to the person will just shut down. Or the person does something to me and I just shut down. Or I have no idea what's happening at their workplace. They don't have an idea what's happening at my workplace. And people tend to get into a lot of stress because things are tight and things just blow up. And when things blow up, there's so many things that come into play. Maybe the guy feels like, because whenever he comes home, you're not talking to him, so you start fighting, and then you get solace elsewhere. Okay, so open communication is very, very important, and that's one thing that I told my my boyfriend that I have right now, that for me it is something that I really treasure. I really treasure open communication, and I'm really happy with it because I honestly think that I have a friend in him right now, and I am praying to the Almighty God that it works out. That it works out and we stay together and we stay friends because he loves my son, my adopted son. We all know I adopted a son. He loves my adopted son so much. So I just pray that it just works out, you know. Because for relationships, one thing people need to realize is that another thing is that when you love somebody or when you love your friends, you start a relationship so that it can work. You don't start a relationship so that it can fail. You understand? So I always tell people that when people fall out of love, it's not a time to judge them. It's not a time to go behind their backs and talk about them. It's a time to actually reach out to them. If you're actually their friends, reach out to them and find out what's happened, what went wrong, you know. So yeah. So I think that's it about love. And the reason I decided to talk about love today is because of my status yesterday. I got so many comments from people who are like, oh, Jackie must be mad. You must be crazy. You should have grown up in the States. Some people were like, oh, Jackie, you know, you're Jackie. But I'm Jackie. I'm Jackie, and I'm that person who, unless you're really close to me, you will understand who I am. But I'm a very loving person. I'm a very caring person. And I really, really care about those people who are close to me. And before I close, to my friend Judith Namgeni. She works with MTN. She's one of those. I think she's like my biggest fan. Like, on Real Talk. One of my biggest fans. Judith just sent me something, and she's just like, you know what, Jackie, whatever you have to do, just always remember that it's about you. It's about you. If you feel happy at that moment about something, as long as it is in line with God, you understand? As long as you're not sinning, you're not doing anything, you're not insulting anybody, but it is about you, then you need to make sure that you do it. Don't think about what are people out there going to think about me. You know, it is something that has been with me for a very long time. What are my sisters going to think about me? What are my parents going to think about me? It's been something that has held me back for a very long time. But I think, Judy, thank you very much for that advice. And also Diana Rada, my cousin, she called me. She always calls me. One person always calls me and she's like, Jackie, what's happening to Real Talk? There's no Real Talk today. Diana, thank you so much for always being there to listen to my talks. And for the rest of you, I love you all. And this is Real Talk. Bye-bye.